Welcome to the Tech Life Well podcast with your hosts, Theo Hale and Aria Wells.
It is so great to be here today.
We have a lot to cover, and right out of the gate, we are looking at something that is fundamentally redefining personal space and wellness in our daily lives.
We really are. We are living through this massive shift in early 2026.
Exactly. It feels like AI innovation is changing what it means to just step outside your front door. The core tension right now is that we have moved past asking, am I being recorded?
Right, because the new question, the much heavier question, is am I being identified?
And that distinction is everything. Today we are focusing on two huge stories anchoring this shift. We have Meta's reported plans to put facial recognition into their smart glasses, and then that massive backlash against Amazon Ring's new search party feature.
It is the ultimate collision of health, technology, and biometric privacy. The hardware is finally doing what sci-fi warned us about.
So let's get right into the weeds, looking at the reporting from the New York Times and TechCrunch from earlier this month.
The internal leaks from Meta.
Yeah, the leaks. They are reporting that Meta is internally planning to add facial recognition to their Ray-Ban smart glasses.
They are calling the feature name tag internally.
Name tag, which, it sounds so friendly, like you were at a corporate retreat or a networking mixer.
It sounds totally harmless, but looking at the actual specs, it is incredibly powerful. The reporting shows this feature would allow you to just look at someone, and identifying information pops up right in your field of view via Meta's AI assistant.
Like social media profiles.
Socials, employment history, mutual contacts, just hovering there.
It is the superpower everyone thought they wanted until they realized everyone else would have it too.
Exactly.
But what really struck me in the source material was the timing. Why now? Because Meta actually abandoned this exact kind of facial recognition tech back in 2021 due to ethical concerns.
Well, the timing is incredibly cynical. There was a leaked internal memo discussing exactly why they want to push name tag out now in early 2026.
And it mentioned the dynamic political environment. Right.
Yes. The memo literally suggested launching now because, and this is a quote, many civil society groups that we would expect to attack us would have their resources focused on other concerns.
That is just wild to me. Essentially saying, let us release this privacy-shattering tech while the watchdogs are busy putting out other fires.
It is a calculated regulatory arbitrage. But to be fair to the tech side, the hardware also finally caught up.
Right, let us talk about that. The new glasses are running on the Snapdragon AR2 Gen 2 platform. I see that chip name thrown around all the time, but what does it actually mean for your privacy?
It changes the game because it means the glasses handle the processing on the device itself.
Instead of the cloud.
Exactly. In the past, to run facial recognition, the glasses had to send a video stream up to a server, have it processed, and send the data back. That is slow, and it leaves a huge data trail.
But with this new chip,
the identification happens locally in milliseconds. It makes the surveillance feel totally seamless and instantaneous.
So while Meta is trying to make our faces searchable on the street, Amazon Ring is trying to do the exact same thing to our neighborhoods. We have to talk about that search party controversy.
The Super Bowl ad.
Yes. Ring airs this ad, and on the surface, it is a total tearjerker. A lost golden retriever gets found because neighbors band together using a network of Ring cameras.
It gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling. Because, who does not want to find the last puppy?
Right. But that is exactly why the backlash was so severe.
Critics, and honestly just regular people watching the game, saw that ad and realized, wait a minute. If you can track a dog that easily across an entire neighborhood using a mesh of cameras,
you can track a person just as easily.
Precisely. It made the surveillance mesh emotionally legible. People realized the infrastructure for mass surveillance is already installed on our front porches.
And the blowback was so intense that Ring actually canceled a planned partnership with Flock Safety.
Flock Safety, which manages automated license plate readers for neighborhoods and police, Ring was going to integrate with them.
But they pulled the plug and cited technical requirements.
Which is pure PR speak. Analysts made it very clear this was a reaction to public trust collapsing.
Which perfectly transitions into a concept I was reading about in the Wearable AI privacy threshold report for this deep dive. They call it the privacy Rubicon.
Such a crucial concept for understanding where we are right now.
Right. The idea is that we are not just adding a new gadget here and there. We are crossing a definitive line where public anonymity becomes effectively impossible.
Once we cross it, you can never go back to just being a face in the crowd. Contrast this with the Google Glass era back in 2013.
The glass hole era.
Yeah, exactly. Back then, people were furious because they thought they were being recorded.
If you wore the glasses, you might be filming someone without permission.
But the report points out that today, the fear has completely shifted. It is not about being recorded anymore. It is about being interpreted.
We are worried about being turned into data.
Yes. And the report breaks this down into 3 key thresholds that we're crossing right now: detectability, identifiability, and persistence.
Let us break those down for the listener, because this really frames our new reality. Detectability seems obvious. The tech is just getting harder to spot.
It is essentially invisible now. The Ray-Bans just look like classic sunglasses, but it goes beyond that. Think about devices like the Bee or the Plod Note Pin.
Oh, I have seen ads for those. They look like minimalist jewelry.
They do. They are AI pendants that clip onto your shirt or hang around your neck. They record everything, they transcribe conversations in real time, and they hide in plain sight.
So you literally have no idea if the person sitting across from you is recording or if that brooch is actually an AI listening device.
That is detectability. Then you have identifiability. This goes back to the name tag issue. It is the shift from passive video to active identification.
There was that demonstration by Harvard students recently, right?
Yes. Using smart glasses and a facial search engine called PyMeyes, they show they could look at complete strangers on campus and dogs them in real time.
Just instant. Name, address, phone number.
Family members, everything, just from a glance. That turns every stranger into a known entity.
That is terrifying. And then the third threshold is persistence.
Persistence means the data does not just disappear, it connects to a graph of your life.
Because in the past, if someone saw you at a coffee shop, they might remember you, but they would eventually forget.
Now, your location, your face, your audio, it all gets stored, linked, and becomes searchable forever. Every protest you walk past, every person you talk to is logged.
You know, speaking of trying to control this tech, there was an anecdote in the sources about a courtroom in Los Angeles that I thought was fascinating. Judge Carolyn Kuhl,
At the Los Angeles Superior Court, yes.
she ordered Meta employees who were in her courtroom to physically take off their glasses. She stated on the record, there must be no facial recognition of the jury.
It perfectly illustrates the bystander problem.
Because you usually consent to an app when you download it, but the jury did not download those glasses.
Right, you cannot pass out consent forms to everyone in a courtroom or a waiting room or a grocery store. The judge realized the only way to protect them was to remove the device entirely.
And this leads right into the real world stakes. Because whenever we talk about privacy, there is always that one person who says, well, I have nothing to hide.
The classic argument.
But the sources, specifically groups like Epic and the ACLU, they paint a much darker picture than just mild embarrassment.
Stalking is the primary concern here. Imagine an abuser trying to locate a survivor who moved away and changed their name.
Normally, they could blend into a new city.
But if that abuser just puts on a pair of smart glasses and walks down a busy street or uses a network like Ring, that anonymity is gone. The needle in a haystack problem is literally solved by AI.
And that puts people at massive risk in sensitive locations, too. I am thinking about wellness and healthcare spaces.
Absolutely. Think about medical clinics. If you are walking into a therapist's office, an abortion clinic, an addiction support group, if someone can scan your face and log your location just by walking past you,
that creates a massive chilling effect.
People simply stop seeking care because they are terrified of being identified. They self-censor their movement in the real world.
And it is not even just bad actors or stalkers causing problems. It is also just the chaos of everyday workplaces. There is this concept of shadow AI in healthcare that blew my mind.
It applies to almost every industry now, but healthcare is a glaring example. The report stated that 40% of hospitals are reporting unauthorized AI tools being used by their staff.
Unauthorized, like doctors just going rogue.
Well, not rogue in a malicious sense. It is mostly staff just trying to be more efficient. Nurses or doctors wearing those recording pendants to help take notes or transcribe patient interactions.
Which sounds helpful until you realize where that data is going.
Exactly. The data is going to a third-party startup's cloud server.
So you have highly sensitive patient health data sitting on some random server because a nurse wanted a quick transcript.
And the report noted, this is increasing data breach costs to an average of $8.2 million.
Wow.
But zoom out from hospitals. Imagine your manager wears one of these pendants during your annual performance review, or a recruiter wears one during a job interview.
And they run your answers through an AI that analyzes your sentiment or your truthfulness, and you have no idea it is even happening.
That is shadow AI. the messy, informal adoption of surveillance in everyday life.
Now, here is where the data gets really surprising to me. We're sitting here talking about stalking and $8 million data breaches, but the sources show a massive generational divide on whether any of this even matters.
The numbers from 2026 are stark. 74% of people over 65 view data privacy as very important.
They see the crisis, but what about the younger demographic?
Only 47% of those aged 18 to 29 agree. And even more wild, nearly 30% of young adults view a preoccupation with privacy as suspicious.
Suspicious?
Really? Yes. For a digital native generation, being tracked is just the baseline. They trade their data for convenience and personalization automatically. If you resist that, the assumption is, well, what did you do wrong? What are you hiding?
So while we are debating crossing the privacy Rubicon, a third of the population is already on the other side swimming away because they just want the convenience.
They want the superpower of never forgetting a name.
So if the culture is that split, what about the law? Is there anything actually stopping Meta from flipping the switch on name tag tomorrow?
There are a few legal speed bumps, and the biggest one is in Illinois. The Biometric Information Privacy Act, or BIPA.
We hear about BPA every single time a tech giant gets sued. Why is this one state law the gold standard?
Because it requires explicit written notice and consent before a company can collect your biometrics, fingerprints, face scans, voice prints. But the real kicker is the private right of action.
Meaning you do not have to wait for the state attorney general to do something.
Exactly. You, as an individual, can sue the company directly.
And that gets expensive fast.
Massive financial risk. Meta already paid $650 million to settle claims in Illinois and another $1.4 billion in Texas under a similar law. That liability is why they are treading carefully.
But the sources mentioned tech companies are actively trying to water BPA down right now.
There's a massive lobbying push.
Yeah.
Bills like HB 5635 and HB 4686 are trying to create security exceptions or shorten statute of limitations to just 1 year. They want to pull the teeth out of BPA.
What about the federal level? Is the FTC stepping in at all?
The FTC is taking a really interesting stance. They issued a policy statement on biometrics. Instead of waiting for Congress to pass a new law, they are arguing that the surreptitious and unexpected collection of biometrics is an unfair practice under Section 5.
So even without a specific smart glasses law, the FTC is saying, if you scan people secretly, it is inherently unfair and we will come after you.
That is their angle. And they're also targeting accuracy. We know facial recognition often misidentifies women and people of color. The FTC says if your system is biased like that, making false claims about accuracy is deceptive.
So companies are essentially walking a legal minefield right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so bringing this all together, we have the tech ready to deploy. We have a culture divided on whether they even care, and we have a patchwork of laws trying to hold the line. What is the ultimate trade-off for you, the listener, navigating this in 2026?
The trade-off is superpowers versus obscurity. You get a perfect digital memory. You get instant context on everyone you meet. You become socially flawless.
Which is incredibly seductive.
It is. But the cost is public obscurity. You completely lose the ability to just be a face in the crowd. You can never go get a coffee without being identified, logged, and analyzed.
And looking at the market forecasts, the superpower side is winning handily. Citibank predicts smart glasses will be a mainstream platform by the end of this year, ramping up production to 10 million units.
That is the real inflection point. Once 10 million people are walking around with facial recognition cameras on their faces, the privacy Rubicon is completely in the rearview mirror.
It really is. And the scariest part for me is not even the recording itself. It is that the meaning of the recording travels.
Yes, exactly.
My face goes into a lens, gets processed by an AI, and suddenly a complete stranger knows my job history, my wellness data, or my political donations.
The future depends entirely on whether we can establish biometric accountability. Can we have the incredible hardware without the non-consensual tracking? Can we build the glasses without building a stalking tool?
That is the billion-dollar question.
And it leads to a thought I have not been able to shake since reading these reports. We always talk about social credit systems as this dystopian thing that authoritarian governments do.
Right, the classic Big Brother fear.
But if we as a society just accept facial recognition in our glasses for the mere convenience of remembering a coworker's name, have we effectively created a privatized social credit system?
A privatized social credit system? Break that down for a second.
Well, think about it. If everyone can see your history instantly, and you can never be anonymous, then you can never truly start over. Your past mistakes, your old affiliations, they're perpetually overlaid on your present, visible to anyone who bought the hardware. We might be building a world where reinvention or even just simple forgiveness is technically impossible.
Wow. That is a heavy thought to leave us with. The idea that we are building a reality where no one can ever start fresh, not because of a government mandate, but just because of our own everyday accessories.
It is something every single one of us needs to consider before we decide to put those glasses on.
Without a doubt. We appreciate you listening. Follow the Tech Life Wall podcast for future episodes and updates.